You'll be good, but you won't be good enough for God. You'll be religious, but you'll never be religious enough because God requires 100% perfection. And if you don't have that, then God says your best deeds are filthy rags. In fact, your best day of repentance to God is still tainted with sin and needed to be covered in his blood. And so here we are. We've got two types of people that stand between the gospel. We got the irreligious person that has either become a God unto himself, or you've got the religious person that's trying to earn his way to God. But the problem is that both of these people are the same person, because underneath it, what drives it is themselves. They're focused on themselves. This person that's focused on their pleasure, the problem is that it's got nothing to do with Jesus. It's got everything to do with self. The problem with performance is that you're always paying attention to yourself instead of God. Are you hearing me? So on the one hand, these people over here, it's Jesus plus their pleasure. And if you add anything to the gospel, you take away from the gospel. But these people over here, it's Jesus plus their pleasure, which really equals their happiness. Right? But these people over here, it's Jesus plus the performance, which equals their worthiness. Right? And so what you have on both sides are two people, right, that have some kind of spiritual experience, but underneath it, what's really driving it is not Jesus, not the good news of the gospel, but really it's either their happiness or this need to feel worthy. You see, you're either the prodigal son or you're the older brother, and the gospel comes in between it and offers you good news. It says if you take it at face value for what it really is, when you really trust the gospel, you can let your hair down. You can breathe. It's really good news. Why? Because everything that you aren't, Jesus became. Everything you couldn't live, he lived. Everything you couldn't do, he did in your place. In other words, Jesus didn't just go on the cross and take God's unmitigated wrath down to the dregs for you. I mean, that's half the story. The other half of the story is this, that Jesus came and lived for 33 and a half years and lived the perfect life you couldn't live. So not only did he die in your place, he lived in your place. And here's the good thing. If you pursue happiness and then try and add Jesus, you get neither Jesus nor happiness. And if you pursue worthiness and add a little Jesus to that, you get neither